Nigeria is today marking its 54th independence anniversary. Nigeria officially, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a federal constitutional republic comprising 36 states and its federal capital territory, Abuja. High Commissioner to Ghana, Ambassador Ademola Oluseyi Onafowokan, Nigeria High Commissioner to Ghana, has been speaking to Nkote Jani on their independence.
Today is October 1st, and it marks the birthday of Nigeria, our biggest brother in West Africa. And we are the residents of the High Commissioner of Nigeria to Ghana. His name is Sir Ademola Onafowokan. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Joy TV.
Today is Nigeria's birthday. How does it come to you?
Very well, but quickly let me see. Nigeria is not big brother. We're twin brother to Ghana. Now, talking about independence, it's a very happy day because Nigeria is celebrating this as the biggest economy in Africa and a very prosperous country, you know.
All right, some have touted your population to be 174 million, but some are also saying that Nigeria is acting as a sleeping giant. What's your reaction to those saying that?
Nigeria is not a sleeping giant. We are playing our roles around the world. You can see that the economy is... We are big in peacekeeping, and we're investing a lot of money in various aspects of our life, especially the infrastructure and in educating our people. So many things we are doing. We're not really a sleeping giant, but I believe the best is yet to come. Maybe that's why they say we're a sleeping giant. We have to, first of all, put our infrastructure in place, because they are aging now. And I believe as soon as we're able to do that very soon, because it's one of the president's transformation agenda, there will be a new Nigeria.
There was, the Biafra people also want an independence day. The people of the North also want an independence day. What's your reaction to this?
Those people saying that, touting that, are people with evil mind. Nigeria is one united country. I'm very proud to be a Nigerian. I'm from Western Nigeria, but I don't see myself as a Western Nigerian. I see myself as a Nigerian to the core. And the people of Niger State are not saying they want to break away. They only ask for resource control. And we just had a national sovereign conference, a national conference on how to move forward. And I believe with that, with what they've come up with, Nigeria will be a better country. Nobody wants to break up Nigeria. It's united we stand, divided we fall. So it's a united, prosperous country, and I fully subscribe to that. Boko Haram is not over northern Nigeria. The Boko Haram is just in the northeastern corner, and there is just a bunch of... They're not even Muslims, because they kill a lot of Muslims. Of course, we won't call them Christians. They are just a bunch of crazy people tied to ISIS and all this useless ideology. They are bigots. They don't know what they want themselves, because they just use it to cause confusion and trouble. How can you create a state out of a small enclave? They are doing the same thing in Iraq and Syria. Anyway,
are you confirming to us that Boko Haram has links with ISIS in Iraq?
Well, I wouldn't confirm that, but they share the same ideology. Just like the crazy people in Algeria who beheaded a Frenchman last week. They share similarities. You can never be too sure that they don't communicate, because they are just out to cause confusion in the world. I think for us, federalism is still the best. Germany is a federal country. America is federated too. These states have a degree of independence. They all hold their allegiance to the center, but they have a degree of independence, and you have exclusive list, which is only to federal, like in Nigeria Police, and then you have bilateral list, which the states, like education, which the states. So I think it's a good way forward, rather than the federal government controlling everything or the states being completely autonomous.
Look, from what we are saying now, we could see that you are preparing for a party tonight. So what what security measures have you put in place to make sure that everybody that is coming in is duly checked and duly screened for you people to have a nice party tonight?
First of all, thank you very much. First of all, if you don't have an invitation, you're not going to come in here.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, it's written on the invitation that there will be no shaking of hands. Thirdly, as you approach to greet, you'll be given the gel to rub on your hand. Fourthly, all the servants or the service people here tonight will wear gloves and face masks so that they don't have cause to sneeze or saliva or anything get into anybody's drink or food by any chance. And lastly, you were checked with thermometer when you came in here.
Yeah.
The same thermometer will still apply in the evening.
Wonderful. How would you describe President Mahama? And when you finish, you could also, in few words, describe Nana Akufo-Addo.
Both of them are my brothers. I can talk about them together. Both of them are my brothers. One thing we must all realize is that they're in different political parties, but one thing is common. They want the good of Ghana. Both of them want Ghana to succeed. Even the Ghana agenda, they might call it in different ways, but they are saying the same thing. Ghana must prosper. And for that, I admire them. It takes a lot of courage.
Well, Nigeria as a country is also faced with a number of challenges, including threats from Boko Haram, a militant group in the north of that country. As the country celebrates its 54th independence, we're asking the question, is there much to really celebrate when it comes to security in that country? Chukwuemeka is West Africa Network for Peace Building Programs Director. He's joined me on this conversation over the telephone. Hello, Chukwu.
Good afternoon.
Many thanks for your time. It's good to talk to you.
Yes.
Chukwu, is there an answer to the question? Really, is there much to celebrate when you bring into the picture the insurgency posed by Boko Haram?
Yes, there is so much to celebrate. Otherwise, we'll be accused of single story. If you look at the strides that Nigeria is making in terms of its leadership in the ECOWAS sub-region, including very recently, it's in the first country to demonstrate its foreign policy focus on the region by being the first country to actually support the fight against Ebola through its $3.5 million contribution. If you look at the strides it's making on its consolidation of its democracy and improving on its electoral processes, also at the level of the rule of law and the judiciary, yes, I think there is so much to celebrate. And the fact that Nigeria has also been together for the past 54 years, even despite all the differences that exist in the country, over 250 ethnic groups, more than 500 languages, and all the other differences, including religion, that the country has been together is also something to celebrate.
And how about the girls? It's Independence Day. Those parents will be looking out for their daughters.
Sorry, could you take that again?
I'm asking, the fact that we've not found the girls who were kidnapped several months ago, it does come to light on a day like this when the country is celebrating its 54th independence anniversary. Over 100 girls are held hostage.
Yes, those are the other side of the story. So the achievements I've talked about is also a single story. But the fact that the girls are still in captivity and also the security challenges has not been dealt with comprehensively, those are the other side of the story that we cannot, as we celebrate, ignore. So I'm saying, yes, we need to celebrate. But in our celebration, let us remember that these challenges also exist. And so for the parents of these girls and for the nation as a whole, it is a sore point as we celebrate the 54th anniversary.
Chukwu, I'm going to have you host the line. Owe Lakimfa is Secretary General for the Organization of African Trade Union. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Owe, in terms of trade, where does Nigeria place on the continent?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'm asking that in terms of trade, where does Nigeria place? on the continent?
It's a fundamental one. Nigeria is said to have the biggest economy in Africa. Therefore, it occupies a very strategic place in trade within the continent.
I see. Now, this position, as Nigeria marks 54th Independence Day, what must they reflect on if they had to improve on this position, if they had to maintain this position?
I'm not sure it's difficult to maintain that position because of the potentials of the country in terms of human and other resources that it has.
But this is the same country that faces serious security threats. There's no denying that the insurgency does affect the economy in some way.
Insurgency has become an international issue now, and that's various countries in various ways. And in the case of Nigeria, of course, the insecurity is affecting the economy and the trade, but not in my own view, in a fundamental manner. Don't forget that Nigeria is a monoculture, relying on oil, and the oil comes from the Niger Delta, southern part of the country. So in that sense, it's not affecting it in that fundamental manner. Now, its economic capital is Lagos, which is in western Nigeria. It also means that the insurgency is not in a fundamental way affecting the industries in Nigeria. However, generally, of course, when there is insecurity in the country, it's bound to affect everything.
I'm happy you mentioned oil because then Nigeria is set to be facing a lot of challenges from Angola. Nigeria also could be facing some stiff competition from the rest of the world as the rest of the world finds alternative for the use of crude. As you celebrate your 54th Independence Day, you'd want to look at several sectors of the economy. Oil, which is the biggest. How would you expect Nigeria to position itself going forward?
Sorry, I didn't catch that question.
I'm asking, in terms of oil, in terms of oil trade, considering the competition that it is getting from countries like Angola. Indeed, reports indicate that the United States has cut down on its business with Nigeria because it's found shale. How should Nigeria position itself in terms of oil trade on the global scale?
Oil is a seller's market that you really are, presently, because the world, especially with globalization, has become a guzzler of oil. So there is demand for oil in every part of the world, which is part of the strength that Russia has today over a lot of European countries, oil and gas. So it's a seller's market, actually. But the problem with Nigeria and some other countries is that we do not control the oil. The oil is mainly controlled by transnational corporations. That's part of the challenge. However, it remains a seller's market.
I see. And if Nigeria wanted to deal with that, so that the revenue from the oil could trickle down to the people, how should it do that? So come 1st October 2015, we'll tell a different story about the revenue from oil.
I think it has to do with the system that is in place. The system is such that the transnational corporations run our oil, and there are a lot of parasitic elements around it also, and that affects the income of the country. Otherwise, generally, I do not see things changing in a fundamental manner in the next 1 year.
I see. Oh, wait, many thanks for your time and happy Independence Day.
Thank you very much.
Right, I still have Chukwuemeka as his programs director for OneUp. Chukwu, I'm totally grateful for your patience. But Chukwu, if Nigeria is not able to handle Boko Haram as it is now, do we see a threat for Nigeria's the projections that Nigeria by 2050 could be actually part of the world's top 20 economies?
Well, part of the attainment of the number 20 in the world economy should also be issues relating to security. So it should be able to deal with that. And already, Nigeria is aware that if it does not deal with the issue of security, then that means trade and foreign direct investment will also be affected. And I think also the good thing is that Nigeria is beginning to diversify its economy. So some of these elements that would normally go into violence and insurgent groups are going to find jobs in the near future. So the agricultural sector in Nigeria is booming, and the agricultural minister already made the projection that very soon Nigeria should not only be producing enough rice that it will eat, but also exporting to the region. So that will also provide jobs in the northeastern part of the country, where some of this we are having the challenges of this insurgent group.
I see. We'd also want to talk about next year, about those who may have suffered as a result of the insurgency, even if it should end anytime soon. What should be the story next year?
I think the story should be a country that, which also is contained in the presidential speech, that the country is looking ahead and with strong commitment that Nigerians today will be better than yesterday, and of course tomorrow better than today. So I think the new story should be what kind of narrative do we begin to construct for the country? Are there the amenities like educational facilities that will ensure that people now get the required education and also get the matching job in the market?
I see. We'll leave it here for now. Chukwumeka is Programs Director for West Africa Network for Peace Building.